Like, we are here to talk about our problems and our issues. Like, I'm not going to spare your feelings by being like, you know what? It's fine. Arya does all of these other things. Like, if I'm not.
Hey guys, welcome to LBB Coaching. This is where we talk about different topics and coach you through them to help you in your relationship. Today, we're talking about, are you a truth teller or are you just rude? I don't know if you've ever been in a relationship with somebody and they are indignant on telling you the truth. There are somebody that are going to tell you, listen, I'm just telling you the truth. It doesn't matter about your feelings. Just take the message. It doesn't matter how it lands. It doesn't matter about the tone. It doesn't matter about the words I've said. You should just take the message as it is. Should you accept this in a relationship? Should you be okay in a relationship if somebody says, forget your feelings, I don't really care, because, you need to get this message, as we just saw in that particular video clip from the show Ultimatum? That's the question we're asking today, and I'm going to answer it for you. And I want to answer very, very quickly in this thing. No. Truth without love will always be cruelty. And in a relationship, this will quickly lead to resentment. But we need to discuss various issues around that as to why it will lead to resentment a little bit later on in this video. Before we do, make sure you guys are liking, share, and subscribing to this channel, and make sure as well that you guys, if you need it to, jump on the coaching that we're doing as well throughout the course of the year. Okay, let's watch a little bit more of this clip, and then I want to discuss a little bit more with you about this truth teller.
Getting something, I'm not marrying you.
It just irritates me.
All right, well, be irritated. I'm going to be honest. You be irritated if that's what it is.
Okay, as we just heard the gentleman say, he said, listen, you can be irritated all you want. I'm just going to be honest. Well, if we're looking to develop a healthy relationship, then we need to be very much aware that assertive language is always paramount. But what we don't want to do is become aggressive. I have a term that I say to my clients. You don't want to become the lamb in every single situation. There are situations, times, and seasons for you becoming the lamb. There are also times and seasons for you to become the lion in the relationship, right? Meaning to be more assertive, right? Whereas the lamb is passive, the lion is assertive. What we don't want to do is become the beast. The beast always comes out whenever we feel that we are either not being true to our ideals, we feel like we're breaking our boundaries, we feel like our values are not being respected. There's some level of feeling that we have not done something, or we're not being respected, or something's not going our particular way. The beast comes out, and that usually ends in a mauling. That's why we call it a beast. What we don't want to do in a relationship is destroy the vehicle that we're using to transport the relationship. What we don't want to do is hurt the cargo inside of the vehicle going towards our destination, which is your partner. What we want to do is be able to assertively communicate ourselves to let the other party know that there are some things that are going on that you're not too happy with. Let's say, for instance, as the gentleman said, he wanted to be honest. There is nothing wrong with being genuinely honest. You should be honest with your partner. You should let them know. And there are going to be times where you do let somebody know that they may not fully understand or process your reasoning as of now. But what you don't want to do is become a beast and maul your partner and say, I don't care how you receive it. You just need to take it. You just need to accept how I feel and accept whatever my truth is, because it's my truth at any given cost. Well, if that's the case, you don't really want to have a healthy relationship. What you're now enacting is a power dynamic between yourself and the other party. You want to be able to have a conversation where you're able to let the person know, this is my truth, but I'm also understanding that I want you to be able to receive it so that you can have understanding. We're not trying to win in a relationship. Many times when we describe how we feel and what we are honestly trying to describe, we're trying to win the battle. And that leads to us breaking our relationships down. And that leads us to actually not bringing ourselves to a place where we're fostering a relationship that is of a mutual love and understanding. And actually what that does is that builds resentment for somebody in that particular relationship. Okay. So in this instance, how could he have gone about this situation to make sure that he delivered his message? Well, number one, first and foremost, build a bridge. How about actually us building a bridge to find out where do we agree first and foremost, so we can find our commonalities, right? Number two, why don't we look at inquiring before judging? many a times relationships break down because people judge and then make actions from that judgment rather than inquiring about what the other person is going through or how they want to, how they understand what you're telling them, right? We go straight to judgment. You don't love me. You don't care about me. If you cared, you would understand, right? We go straight to that place, right? And number 3 is watching our tone and the words. If you know you wouldn't receive that message in a kind way, in a way that you'd be able to receive it because you're saying it in a particular tone, certain words, you understand there's certain things that are triggering about the way you're delivering it, why would you want someone else to just accept it as it is? Why would you want to tell the truth and they just accept it as it is? Would you want to accept your delivery, your food, and someone threw it at you at the door and said, well, I delivered it, so I don't know what your business is. It doesn't matter whether you caught it or not, whether I dropped it at your doorstep or not. I threw it to you. You got it now. That's the delivery. Nobody would be satisfied with that particular delivery. Why? Because the contents of the particular delivery are fragile. Just like the words that you're going to use can actually begin to break the person who's listening to it. So we need to be careful how we transport the cargo, which is the words we're using right now, to the person's ear. We want it to be able to be received. And so in that space, you must care about the other person you're talking to, unless you don't care about that relationship, which I don't think that's necessarily the case. So how would you be able to respond if your partner isn't actually being a truth teller, but rather more being rude, like we saw in this clip here? How would you address them? Well, first and foremost, you must know that your self-worth and your self-esteem is not based in them. You must have your own self-esteem and self-worth. Number 2, you must also realize you need good, solid boundaries, right? You know where you begin and where you end. You know what your needs and what your wants are. You also know what you like and you dislike, and you know what you're willing to tolerate and what you're not willing to tolerate. And if somebody's being rude rather than being truthful, then we need to be able to say that to the person. Hey, I want to be able to understand what you're actually saying to me, but the way you're delivering the content, the way you're saying certain words, it is a little bit triggering for me at this particular time and moment. And I'm finding it very hard to digest what you're saying to me, right? We call it out as it is. We're not trying to insult them. We're not trying to call them out their name. We're not trying to be rude. We are saying it as it actually is so that they can also receive it in the best form and fashion. We don't want them to also feel like we're attacking them back, because that doesn't make us any better. And actually, it just embroils into a larger fiasco. And so what we really need to do is actually put ourselves in a place where we say, the way that you're talking to me is not allowing me to receive what you're trying to give to me. And I want to understand. We must positively reframe the way that we say something. The difficulty behind this is that a lot of people struggle with positively reframing because they believe that the person's intentions is their impact. Let me say it again. A lot of times people struggle to positively reframe something because they're already frustrated and angry, and they believe that your intention was your impact. So the impact of their behavior is their intention. No, they didn't mean to hurt you, right? In most cases, all right? If someone's trying to hurt you, you shouldn't be in a relationship. But they didn't mean to try and hurt you. Their impact was hurtful, but their intention wasn't to hurt you. And in that space, what you're looking to do is to make sure that when you then receive it, that when you've been hurt by someone on the receiving end, you're also looking, going, they didn't try to hurt me. They weren't trying to do that on purpose. Let me look at how I can deliver this information, not to hurt them, but to bring understanding. But I hope this helped you guys as well. Listen, if you need some coaching, do reach out below. We have some emergency slots left open. I'd love to hear from you guys as well. Let me know your thoughts down below. Do you agree, disagree? Let me know if there's any better practices that you feel could be enacted in this space. Much love, much appreciation. We'll see you again very, very soon.